And hello, I'm ALANCOOK, the proud owner of the MIDION painting, which is on the far left. And on the one that's dead center, that's the blue with the face that you see, so happens to be the Mona Lisa's little icon that she puts down on the right bottom as you look at her, which is actually her left side. I'm going to show you some stuff that's pretty heavy, but just looking at the picture, you can see the MIDION, how it runs through here. That's actually a face and a nose and how it comes out. Now I'm going to move this particular one out of your way so you can see it a little bit better. You see? See how that all... This is under a transfer that you pull out some of the colors. You see how that comes out? You can actually see my painting, my main painting with the man serenading the woman. But when you pull out the other particular and you just look at the circumference of the area, you can see the eye and the nose and the little mouth and whatnot. Okay, that's his trick. Now that's only like one layer out of 1,000. That's not even got to do with the little pixel images. Let me show you that when you take this image and you overlay it on this image, you're going to see that if I can do it, which I haven't done. We're going to concentrate. I'm going to have to make quite a few YouTubes, but let me show you. Do you see the deer? This is the deer. See the deer head? Okay, that's the deer head. What I'm going to show you that same deer head, when I overlay this over the top, you can see. If I must have had this offset. I thought it was ready. Sorry. Let me. Okay. You can see where the deer is going to be. Okay. It's going to be in this area. So when you take this image, and you see how when I push down on the clicker, how she highlights a little bit more on the item. So I'm going to show you that you can see it starting to burst out right there a little bit. It's real hard, but it's actually right in here. And this is what's very, very cool. Okay, because you know that when you lay this over, okay, you see this icon right here, the one in which I was telling you about, which is this icon, which is blown up, and it's only a half a portion. Okay, it's actually larger, but I only cut half a portion to show you. And it comes out that when you put this on up, it actually shows up in this particular area. Okay, which I pull this back, it comes out in this particular area. Also comes out in this particular area because he repeats his work. So in this image it becomes this. Then when you take and blow up the lady's dress down below than which I just showed you, you can see the lady's dress. Here's the face icon that is bleeding through. I'll pull out that particular one and put it side by side to let you know here it is. Now what's cool about it is that you can see this little face that's aiming up into the sky is the same as this face aiming up into the sky. And you can see how this nose here is right in here. Okay, and that's the way Leo is. I'm going to put this off to the side. I'm going to scoot this on over, you're going to see a small, whoops, you're going to see a small little bit of an overlay. And you'll see how there's an eye here and an eye here looking this way. Leo can make this whole item not only look up, because here he is, boom, boom, looking up, like with a bow tie, and you put this image over the top, or probably easier to go vice versa, for the reason is because it's a lighter piece, and there we go. And you can see how she matches perfectly. She actually, if I just move it down one more, and you can see how she fits exactly in that one section. When I take this particular, whoops, excuse me, wrong one. I just put it away, sorry. I take this particular one and I shift it into the area that would normally be, you can actually see when it gets reduced how the face shows up with the nose aiming the other way. See, you see a nose here. Okay, so in this particular icon, which is this one, when you, whoops, when you open it up, whoops, it becomes a larger piece. Okay, and out of that larger piece, whoops, Butterfingers, give me that candy bar. Okay, now you end up with this particular piece. Which is way down there. Okay, but that's not just the only place he puts them, because if you take a look at my main painting, okay, my main painting is this. Watch. I better do it vice versa again. It'll show up better. Well, maybe it doesn't show up better because it's so light. But you can see how other things line up and bleed through. You can see a little guy in here and whatnot. Well, you don't see it, okay, that well in mine, because I pulled a lot. But you see this guy right here? What? Hang on. Let me show you. See that guy right there? He's right here in the shoulders. Now watch. Let me reduce it. And then I put him up. Let me get this down. See? You see him? He's right there. And you pull him down. That's right there. The same one right here. It gets even wilder. When you end up with the I got a little time. When you end up looking at this, this also comes out the letter 12 and the letter 17. I take it and I change it by changing it to a 90 so it's easier to see. Okay, do you see the 12? And do you see the 17. It's in several places. Let me show you. Here's a 1. Okay. And then here's a big 2 hidden right there, like a 12. But if you see the straight line here and you reverse it upside down, it's a 7. If you follow this across more, it's a 7. So not only is it a 12, it's a 17. Okay, it gets wilder because when you flow this through here, it's a 2. But if you also flow, it, you will see that it also comes out another 12 again, because here's the big line running up and down. There's also another line that runs for a 12. So it's like 1, 1, 7, 2, or 2, 7, or he's repeating his 12s, which is most likely. Then you'll see that he actually uses the big 12 and he uses another 12. So he uses a big 12 because you can see the straight line across here and it runs up, and that's where he gets his 2. Then he uses his big 1. Then watch this. It's kind of hard to do. It's in here somewhere. Here it is. Okay. Now, do you see the 12? Here's the big 1. And if you really look, you can see the 2, but it's real hard because he really hides his work in them. He's actually got the 2 that runs down like this and cuts over. Okay, that's the 12. He gets wild. Okay, if you take a look also in his valley of his river of fire, you'll see when you take the colors out and you get into his work here, you'll see how it changes to MF for Melzi Francisca as an initial, but it doesn't show up, okay? Nowhere near is good until you reduce it. That's his distance shot. Watch. You see the M, and then you see the F. That's his hidden work of Melzi Francisca, man who lived with him. If you look at it bigger, and you try to divide it up, you see the F, and then you see how the M could be drawn out of it. Okay, I only caught that by looking at it through my photos where I have them stored. Okay, so it's not just the 12 that sits in here. There's also, when you take this image and you rotate it back counterclockwise, you'll find in this area and in this area, you will find this image right here. You will find this guy, and you'll find this guy right here. And those guys are right here. Whoops. Sorry. If you take this image and you put this image next to this image, you can see the horn right here of the horn right here. This is like a lion and a dog, and what you see the legs. Okay, he's got the legs here, and he integrates this other stuff that's in the way, but it comes across in here and floats. It's the same fit. Now let's get to the other guy. Okay, now we're talking about an X-ray in the Mona that I have a very difficult time pulling, but I'm doing a pretty good job at it if I have to pat myself on the back. And so that particular area that we're talking about of that is right here. If you see it and follow the dots, here's the dots, and here's that little icon, and you got the eyes, and it goes here. That same particular one is there. So what I'm saying, this is the same as this, and the distance between this and the other particular one that I called the lion, the tiger, and the dog, and everything else blowing a horn, which is many thanes of Leo, which is probably only not even 1/1,000,000th of his meaning of what he has hidden, is to two particular pieces, because when you open this up and reduce it, you can see that my X-ray has the piece, and the distance between the two is not that far, and that you can see that when I take this image that's right here and I reduce this one, and it would be here, the image isn't that far. And if I take the two and I move it back up on top of each other, I would have to pull that one down and pull this one down to be able to put it up, and it's got to get a little bit bigger to fit the size. Whoops. It's right here, and the other image is right here. And then if I pull this back down, your dots are right in that general area for trying to give you his measurements. It gets really heavy on his works. Also, on top of that, there's one other piece I like to get before I close, that if I take this let's see. Nope. Here it is. If I take this and I turn it back to a counter, then I reduce it to the size and take this one and put it right here and open this up to approximately the size. And when you overlay it, well, I gotta do it in reverse again. You can see, well, let me fit that so you can see it better. Again, sorry, I'm doing my best, I'm sorry. Okay, you can see how the arm fits exactly in the sleeve. You can see how he is in the picture of her, and you can see her hiding in the hair, the hand here. You can see the deer. The deer lines up in the here, lines up like right there in the photo. That's where they are. He's actually in her face. And again, don't forget, he makes it move across the room. All his paintings and all his images are everywhere in the paintings. These are only just a couple areas I was able to pull, okay, because he's just awesome. He's a TV, just like my father Don's TV. Rest his soul. I want to say about the coronavirus, of the people out there, not to worry. There is a God, there is another world, and I know we are not ready to go yet, because, you know, life we always try to fight to live and do the best, and it's fearful to pass on. It's called the change, but I think we're all good. I think we're all going to make it, and if anything happens or sorrow to anyone, I feel for you. I used to be, I know about pain, and I used to be handicapped like the March of Dimes kid for 4.5 years of my life. I've